Let's see. I'm trying. All right. All right. All right. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Hi everybody, I'm Rock Queen 71 coming at you live from my headquarters in Oklahoma. How's it going? Today, April 29th, 2025 is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. This is a pre-show, a pre-stream, uh, because I'm trying to test my back out to see if I can do this in the other room. I've been trying to plan for this for a couple of weeks and all that, and as you can see, I have my shirt on. Jim's actually wearing his shirt at work, and I actually was taken back by a girl that he works with has been clean for 4 years off of fentanyl. 4 years. Way to go, sister! Way to go! I'm proud of you. You know, so I'm just testing out the waters right now. I have to. Because about a couple hours ago, I went back in my studio and I sat in the gaming chair and pain, oh pain, oh pain. So I'm sitting on the couch. I don't want to do my Fentanyl Awareness Day on the couch. I want to go in my studio where I made all this important stuff up for my stream. So that's why I'm just calling it a pre-stream. So it's nothing but just talk, and just, in fact, here, you want to see Cherokee? Oh, wait, Cherokee? He doesn't care. Cherokee, what do you have to say about National Fentanyl Awareness Day? No. Whoops! Wow. All right. So this is just, I'm actually sweating. I actually want to get this off my mind. A couple of people have been asking if I was gonna live stream soon, live stream again, whatever. I will admit, guys, I was going through some rough stuff emotionally. Because for a corporation, okay, because some of you that are content creators, what the fuck? All right, I had to get back in the swing of things. What the hell? That should be on a blooper reel, right? Some of you are content creators that are just like me. I've been doing it for several years, but for you that are just like me, just starting out or are thinking about starting out, we are the Davids to their Goliath, okay? And on April 11th, 2025, which was a Friday night, there was two sources that said I could live stream Coachella and watch it with my viewers. Okay? I didn't stream the whole thing. I only did the Missy Elliott set. That's it. Got suspended, struck down, got one strike, got suspended for a week. And here I'm, I appealed. It was a copy and paste reply. Denied. So, it made me very rageful, angry. And I knew that night when I was showing you guys, saying, see, oh, look, that's what they're saying on USA Today, okay? The article, and also on YouTube's blog saying that we can stream this. And knowing YouTube, they were going to pull a switcheroo or something saying I was wrong, okay? And I knew I was going to be suspended for this. I had this feeling. I don't know why. But luckily, I have the whole stream on Twitch. That's why you should multi-stream, guys, to have backups. But, so, I try to ask some of the bigger creators, or I even put an open letter up on YouTube. I even live streamed it for I guess a couple days to try and make a point or to, did it make an impact? Well, I mean, at least it was out there, right? There's a saying, and there's a saying, God giveth and God taketh away. Well, the same thing with YouTube, because they think they're God. Even though they say, after 90 days, the one strike will be taken away. Okay. It still hurt a lot. It really did. It seriously did. It was a bruise to my ego. Okay? I'm not, listen, for those that are new here or what, I'm not doing it to make money. Okay? I'm not doing this to be famous. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I've been saying that ever since Mixer. Okay? I'm doing it to help those that are struggling with drugs and alcohol and or mental illness. That's the only reason why. But for a corporation that pretty much contradicts itself or plays the game of gotcha, uh, you know, it's where they're at. It's where they're at. I needed to take a few days to really step back and to figure out what my plans are going to be moving forward with this. I'm the one that takes a lot of risk. Okay, I do push the envelope. Okay, a lot. All right, and I do push against authority a lot. Ask my doctor that. Okay, ask my doctor. Ask my husband. He knows. Ask anybody that knows me. But I have to put away my ego. At times, I do have an ego. At times, I am cocky and stuff. Okay? I am narcissistic. But this stream isn't about me. It's about saving others. And so, when I look at my past streams, okay, now mind you, when I started out on YouTube, Xbox had a feature where you can record your clips on Upload Studio and then upload from Xbox to YouTube. They don't have that feature anymore. I wish they still had it. Okay, but YouTube changed their UI or whatever it's called. Okay, so if you look at my older videos or clips or whatever you want to call them, it was all about gaming. Okay, I was doing it for fun. Now, when I was still in Jersey, by the way, when Beam came out, and then it got switched to Mixer. Back in 2017, I created a campaign, an Xbox campaign called Xbox X Out Bowling on Xbox. Okay, and I was proud of it, even though there was a lot of pushback against it. Oh, there's no bowling on Xbox. Blah, 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 blah. No, whatever. Haters are gonna say that because they're the one that ones that are being that are the bulliers, right? Whatever. So Beam came out, and so I created a PSA contest, and it was like in September or October for anti-bullying month, right? So for a month, so I had to do this. So that gave me a little taste of what a content creator was, right? To promote a contest, to do things for the world, right? And so, if you see some of my, clips, older clips or whatever, I'll say X out bullying on Xbox and all this stuff. Then Beam got switched to Mixer, right? I'm going through this timeline because I want you to see the progression of my streaming career, so to speak. I don't want to call it a career, okay? But that's what I came up in with my head. All right. Make sure it's... Yes, I am here. Hi, Dean. How are you? You asked. You asked. You asked. And believe me, I was going through my streaming career, like the timeline. Yeah. Well, today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. Let's see. And I had this thing planned. And because of what happened on April 11th, and I'm not going to keep bringing this up, but it really stung hard with me. You know what I mean? And I really had to take a step back. Can I tell you something, Dean, real quick? I'm gonna... You can ask Jim. And I wish Jim was here. He's at work and stuff, okay? I was so angry. I was like, literally, I was full of rage. Okay? That's why I did the open letter. Okay? But that rage ate me up like a cancer. Okay? And I talk about resentments, how resentments eats you up like a cancer and everything else. So I should really take my own advice. But there's a saying, right, where God giveth and God taketh away. Well, YouTube thinks they're God. Okay? And I like to push the envelope, but that just... right? So that's why I shut everything down, did the open letter for two days or whatever, and actually, like, I had to do it for myself to just back away for a while because, Oh, you know what? This is what I do now. If I'm doing this on my cell phone now, I actually pick up the cell phone and hug you guys. Hold on. Oh, look. There. And you know what? I actually got I got my husband a t-shirt with the fentanyl, and he wore it today at work. Okay, I wore this shirt yesterday to my doctor's appointment. I had a doctor's appointment. Okay, so I got Jim a shirt. He wore it to work. Okay, and so he sent me a message back maybe a couple hours ago. And now he's not supposed to have his cell phone on him at work. He's not supposed to take any videos from work because of trade secrets, all right? But when it's at night, they're very lax with it. But if you get caught, you're out just like that. But, so he sent me this video. And I see this girl on here. I just, I'm like, okay, what's this about? Right? I push play, right? And this girl who he works with, and I was taken back by it, okay? And it brought me to tears. Where this girl says, I really like your shirt. I want one. I've been clean from fentanyl for 4 years. 4 years off of fentanyl with this girl. Her name is Teresa. You go, sister. And I was like, yeah. And whether I believe her or not and stuff, is I know I'm making an impact on this world. I don't have to be shown all the time. I think maybe I don't want to call it an ego thing. Okay? Maybe it is about ego. But I just want to make a difference in this world. That's it. Okay? I've been there, done that, and I don't want to see these young kids dying from fentanyl or whoever else is dying from fentanyl, because it's one pill, one kill, and bam! There's no turning back. You can't respawn, nothing, right? So when I saw this video, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I gotta get back on my stream. Okay? My back's killing me. And that's why I'm doing a pre-show. That's why I'm doing a pre-show. I have the ice pack on my back. I'm trying to, I took my medication. I took the ibuprofen and everything, okay? Because I've been building up for this. And I have so many things on my stream I want to talk about. And like I said, this is a pre-show stream, whatever, what they do with it, the Super Bowl, World Series, or whatever, okay? I went to the doctor yesterday, and guess what? I hit a new milestone. You know what that milestone is? I'm almost up to 250 pounds. Yup. Woohoo! That's what good eating does. It's not all good eating either, because I love to cook, and that what we've been eating is not good. But like it's it's used in hospitals. It's actually used in hospitals when they put you out. But yet, fentanyl is laced. It's laced with. I mean, all right, hold on. Fentanyl is in pot now. It's in pills, counterfeit pills. It's in cocaine, heroin, meth. It eats your skin up when you. I mean, I've shown video from Kensington, Pennsylvania, okay, or Portland, or San Francisco. It's a cutting agent, just like what they do with the dope and the coke. And people don't overdose from fentanyl. Well, all right. When they cut it as, when they put it as a cutting agent and say dope and the coke or whatever, okay, they know what they're doing. They're poisoning the batch, the supply, and stuff. They know. And, I wish I had a chocolate chip cookie. You know why? Not to eat it, but to show you that one pill, right? It's called the chocolate chip cookie effect, where one pill could maybe, say, a half a pill has maybe one little speck of fentanyl in it, and it could kill you. It's not all the way through these pills. And now they're finding also that these testing strips, if say you crush the pill up, okay, and you take a little bit of amount and put it on the testing strip, guess what? That little amount might not have the fentanyl in it, but the rest of the pill might. No, if I ever talk to her, okay, I want to hear her story. Okay? I never did fentanyl. Okay? Because, well, I've been clean and sober from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. But you know what? If I was still using, I would have been dead by now, right? I know that for a fact. I would have been dead by now. But by chance, if I was still using, I know I probably would have been in Kensington or Trenton or the Bronx or Brooklyn, okay, to get the shit. There was a time back in the 90s, and this is no joke. There was a brand of heroin, dope, called Red Rum. I was shooting up at this point, okay? And if you don't, how they distribute the dope, heroin, is in cellophane packets. Like, and they'll stamp it. They'll stamp it like, say, Black Tiffany, more power, bam, whatever, right? So with what was it on the envelope was called Red Rum. But in reverse, it's called murder. Why they stamp the cellophane packets, the envelopes, is it's all a gang thing. It's about territories. That's why they do it. So back in the 90s, a lot of people were dying from this red rum. Was I concerned about it? Yeah, but I knew my sources. I had primo dealers, okay? But you never know. It could have been, put in the batch, right? So, but there was a lot of people dying from red rum. And they finally got the guys that were doing it. But a lot of people, because it was that pure. It was heroin in its purest form. So I survived that. So there are people that, are doing it and nothing's happening. By the grace of God, but for the grace of God, but knowing me, if I was still using it, I probably would have used it. Even crystal meth. They had crystal meth in Florida because of the Hells Angels and the pagans and all that crap. The bikers down there. Up in Jersey, in the tri-state area, they didn't have like meth or anything. They had speed. They had yellow jackets and stuff. It's like dope. It's a downer. It's a depressant like alcohol or pot. Pot has psychoactive properties to it, but fentanyl doesn't. It's like you're taking a Percocet or a Xanax or whatever, but it's much more of an effect. That much of it, like, wait, see that much can kill 300,000 people or whatever. Yeah. Like I said, if I was still using and stuff like, and I probably, I used to do Special K. Special K is a horse tranquilizer and stuff. And believe me, and I only use it a few times and stuff. And believe me, when you're coming down from that and stuff, it crushes you like more than crack or heroin does. That's the Chinese. They would know. And these cartels know what they're doing. It's all about the money. There's some when there were several times in my addiction where I would, well, this is at first, right? And stuff. Everybody just starts off sniffing the dope, right? There's a few times where I maybe took 2 bumps. And I'm like, holy God. And I would be nodding out. Like, especially when you hit yourself up, then it's really, bad. But I can't. I don't think so either. I'm dealing, to me, with my back pain, it's a totally different monster. Okay? Kicking dope handful of times is a piece of cake. Okay? Compared to what I'm dealing with now. But if I ever, and I'm not, knock on wood, all right, knock on wood. I don't think I could, no. But I know for a fact if I ended up going back out again, okay, maybe it wouldn't kill me the first time, or the second time, or maybe in 2 days, a week, or whatever, but I know I would die. And that's damn straight. I had a friend of mine died from a heart blowout. We were in detox together because it was like a slumber party. Everybody knew each other and all that crap. I was about to come, I was, coming in and stuff pretty much. And he was like all like antsy and all that stuff because he was booking it. He was kicking rocks, right? And I was like, what are you doing here? He said, no, I'm getting out of here and stuff. Because because he was mandated to go to detox and all this other crap so he wouldn't go to jail. Well, guess what? He didn't go to jail. He ended up 6 feet under in Potter's Field. I said goodbye to him and everything else, and all of a sudden, it's like code blue, whatever, and what, I didn't know the guy. Maybe he was like an acquaintance or whatever who picked him up, right? But he took a rock, the same amount, and just blew out his heart. Okay? In the parking lot in detox. And believe me, if you're off crack, heroin, whatever, for a day or whatever, you can't take the same amount. Because your body's not used to it. And that I took chances. I mean, a lot of my friends did. A lot of addicts do, okay? Every time we smoke or we shot up, we took a chance, okay? But it's not like it is today. I want to do something more, okay? I want to get my license and stuff, even though Jim would be definitely afraid of me driving, but, all right? But I want to go to Tulsa, and I want to help these people there. It's not just about being a streamer and everything else. I want to do outreach too. But, everything comes in its own time. Everything comes in God's time. But like I was saying before, like, what YouTube, what they did was wrong, okay? And what really gets me angry is, and I'm not that surprised, that they didn't answer me either. Okay? I did reach out to a couple of YouTubers, like, the quartering and like Jeremy and a couple other people, and they never responded, like, because I wanted to know what their take was. That's it. I don't want them to make a video about it or just whatever. I just want their take on it. So I felt validated, okay? You know? But yeah, I had to take a step back and actually just you can ask Jim. You know, I was having a hard time emotionally. You know, and I was actually working on a couple of songs too for YouTube. That aren't finished yet. It is what it is. You know, I do feel like I'm a martyr. A martyr. Okay. I do have free. Yeah, from the drugs, right? Yeah. Or no, you're talking about right now. I'm talking on YouTube, right? Is that where you're? I'm still not out of the woods. They still have a strike on me. Oh yeah, the war story. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I don't listen. The reason why I don't go to NA or Cox Anonymous or whatever is because of the war stories. I don't. I don't tell war stories. I just say truth and all that stuff. You know what I mean? What pertains to me. I don't go to AA or I don't go to NA and I'll say whatever I'm saying and they're like, oh, it's like these soldiers that go to the VFW, Veterans of War, like a local bar like VFW, and they're like, oh, look what I got in Vietnam, right? And they show like one little scar, and then the other soldier's like, well, look at me, I got shot in the heart, almost shot in the heart, and whatever, and then it just keeps going. I don't try to do that at all. I don't sugarcoat things or exaggerate experiences or anything. That's not me at all. Do you understand? And I know what you're saying now too about about like the war story of YouTube, right? It still stings. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Make a decision to be happier today. I just get that gratitude going AA or NA for everyone, but help me stay clean. No, I go to AA, not NA. I went to NA meetings and stuff like that. I'm grateful for AA. You know? No, Moto, you're educating yourself. You're educating yourself so you can educate your grandkids, your daughter, your neighbors, or whatever. And also, you should go on like a website where you can get naloxone, where Narcan. If say God forbid, I'm not if say a family member say a neighbor, or if you're riding somewhere and you spot somebody overdosing, you should actually always carry that with you. You know what I mean? Because you never know. I have four Narcans, but I think I have to switch them out and stuff. And you know why I do it? Either my in-laws and maybe my neighbors or whatever. Was it because of the old timers? Like, whatever works for you might not work for me, and just the opposite. You know, it's all recovery. You know what I'm saying? It's all about recovery. It doesn't matter how you got there, right? If it worked for you, it worked for you. You know, it took me plenty of time to get my recovery. You know, I'm just grateful that I didn't die in the process. The only program I don't like, and I'm going to say this, is Smart Recovery. I knew a girl, her name was Janie or Janine or Jeannie or whatever, okay? And she found Smart Recovery. And if you look into their program, you'll understand why. Because they think, you know, you can actually go back to moderation with the drinking or whatever, and that's not the case. But yeah, I still have my ice pack on me. I'm giving it a few more minutes, and I'm hoping I can go back to my studio and we can do this, you know, National Fentanyl Awareness Day stream. You know what? No reason and exactly why I can't judge one over the other is all. Well, exactly. Exactly. God was actually saving grace. I'm sure I would have succeeded getting clean no matter where I went, and I was ready is why. You and me both, brother. You know? You and me both. I just thank God that I know I don't, you know, I think for some it's like it's always us talking about this stuff. And you know what I was thinking too? And I've mentioned this in several streams also. I'm going to do a series, and I think you'll appreciate this. Okay? Maybe you won't, but knowing you, I think you will. I want to do a series called Chalk Talk. But it's going to be Stream Talk, but with Chalk Talk with Father Martin. I love that man so much. I watched so many of his videos over and over and over again when I was in rehab, detox, wherever I was. And he died a few years ago. And when he does these talks, he does it with humor, along with seriousness and stuff. But when you actually listen to him, and a lot of rehabs do this now, where they do didactic sessions, where say you go to group or you go to class, right? And I've been to plenty of them, okay? And the counselor or whatever will write on the board. You know why they do that? So you can process it better. That's why they do that. Because for some people, they can't, it's like, for some that say, well, AA really never helped me or whatever, it's probably because, just by the talking, maybe, I mean, when you get sober, right, clean and sober, and you're at a meeting, even like say, like, you just sit there, especially if you're kicking or you're just like, you're feeling like shit, right? And your mind wanders, okay? You're just like there, right? It goes in one ear, out the other. I was like that. And so I hear thunder outside. Now I'm thinking, oh, maybe my stream's gonna be cut off by the storm. But I was saved for a purpose. And when you're a streamer or a content creator, it's like, why am I really doing this? Like, I'm not getting any response, or I'm not getting any traction, or whatever, I go through that, okay? I still go through that. But I know I am making an impact by, say, putting a comment on a my boys from prison, right? If I put a comment on one of their videos or other people's videos and stuff, and I'll get the likes, and they'll reply to my comment and say thank you, God bless you, or what, So I know I'm making an impact. And for those that are new here, whether you're in recovery or not, the Queen's Light Brigade is to create a wildfire change to diminish the darkness in the world. And we might not get all the darkness in the world, but we're going to fight like hell to get rid of it. Okay? We're going to make a difference. This whole Queen's Light Brigade is something bigger than myself and you, and we can do something together. But some of these, these channels, I'm not going to mention what channels or whatever, but these channels that say you're doing this wrong and you're getting 50 less views or this or whatever. Well, exactly that too. Because people feed off your energy, whether you believe it or not. There was a time where my friend Blue, right? I was on Mixer, right, at this time. That's right. I love you, brother. High five there. Bam. Yes. I was streaming on Mixer, and I was in a lot of pain with my back. Okay, and a lot of times and stuff, you're so welcome, and you're gonna do my tattoo. I saw it. Oh my God! Talk about tattoo. I saw this tattoo. I was like, I wonder if he could do this. It was a map of New Jersey. You know what? I'll show you later. But it was a map of New Jersey with license plates, with welcome to Asbury Park. What's up? I think it's your style, though. But I want that, you know. But, I forgot what I was going to say now. And that's stupid. But all right, so coming back around again, I was on Mixer, and I was on a lot of pain with my back and stuff, and, you know, here I'm playing and whatever, and my friend Blue, who's like a son to me, said to me, Queen, are you in pain? And I said, well, yeah, a little bit. And you know what he said to me? And it always sticks with me. He said, well, yeah, I can tell. I don't want anybody to come in here if they're feeling like shit, okay? They're depressed, they're suicidal, you know, they're trying to get themselves clean and sober or whatever. I don't want them to come in here and then say, wow, I don't like this energy at all. Because I've been there on streams, and you probably have too, where you go on the stream, you're all happy, you're all like, yeah, I'm having such a good day, right? And then you go on the stream, and within 15 minutes, you're so depressed, and you wonder why. It's all about energy. That's why a lot of times, like, I didn't, like, go to people's houses when I was so, you know, like, my in-laws. That's why I don't go over there, because I don't want my positivity to be sucked right out of me or whatever. That's what happens. Even like when I was living in Jersey, and, you know, my mom would wonder why I never showed up at the house, because I only wanted something, right? And I told, because she kept talking about the past a lot, right? Or it was her energy. I needed that for myself. Sometimes you have to put up boundaries with your recovery and with people, whether it be your family, your friends, your neighbors, co-workers, or whatever. Boundaries are important. And it's okay, like, you know, like for you or me or any other content creator saying, you know what, I have to step back. I have to take care of me first and work on other things, or enjoy go to hospital, go to doctor's visits, go to doctor's offices and all that crap, right? I'm just saying, you know, Exactly. Listen, I don't care. Like, say if somebody comes in, I'm gonna say something. Just on what you were speaking about. Thank God for a variety of people. I was on late at night. Okay, I guess doing my AI thing or whatever, right? So this guy came in on the stream saying hi, and whatever, and I'm like, oh hi, how you doing? Right? And I said, well, where are you from? He's like, I'm from India. I'm like, India? Right? And we were talking, he was a young man. I know, all about him. He's trying to be a doctor, and he told me about how they do it there, like with their schooling and everything. And I talked about his parents. I said, did your parents push you to be a doctor or whatever? Because that's how some people are. And so, but we were talking about that. And he says, I never expected to end up on a stream with you, and actually have a nice conversation. A young kid from India. And so I know my message is getting out there. Even people in India. And I enjoyed that conversation just like he did. I'm very outgoing. Okay? Most of the time, especially when my back doesn't act up, I'm very outgoing, very energetic, very, I'm like a pinball in a pinball machine, okay? Bing, 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 bing. Or, Ricochet Rabbit! Bing, 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 bing. You remember that cartoon? Ricochet Rabbit? I should have that as like a trigger or something like that. Ricochet Rabbit! Anyway, I love going out with people and having fun and just getting to know people. And there's plenty of times, guys, where, say, a few years ago, I had to have neck surgery. And so my cardiologist said, well, we have to do a nuclear test on you. We have to do an EKG on you and all this stuff because since you're older, like 21 years old, you know what I'm talking about? All right. So I was like, okay. So I went, for these tests and stuff at, I think it was OSU Hospital in Tulsa. All right. And this is during the pandemic, by the way. No problem. Hope everything comes out okay. So I went for these tests, and so first they did the EKG test on me, and he said, okay, wait a couple minutes, and then you're going to do the nuclear test, where they just lay you down and they go over you, I guess. So the girl called me in, and she looked very down, just maybe overworked, maybe she, So here I'm laying down on a slab, and we didn't get started with the test yet. And she just started talking to me I said, well, how are you today? Just by saying that, just by asking that, how are you doing today? And all of a sudden she's like, well, I'm a little tired. I'm the only one working on here on this test. My supervisor laid off a lot of people, but yet he has a brand new Lexus, and he was going on and on. She was going on about, and then she said to me, she said, well, also, she said, I'm dealing with the loss of my mother. St. John's cut up my mother. She was pretty sick. She cut up my mother. They cut up my mother pretty bad. She had multiple amputations, blah, 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 blah. Right? And she finally died. But yet I had to take care of my dad too. Right? And then I would have to take my dad up to see my mother and whatever. And she's telling me all this. Right? And so somebody comes in and she says, yeah, we're just getting started and stuff with this nuclear test, right? And so it happened, right? And I got up and I said, can I give you a hug? And this is during COVID, right? I said, can I just give you a hug? And she said, yeah, sure. And I hugged her a lot, because I give good hugs, right? Jersey Bear hugs. And she said, wow. And she says, there's something about you that made me feel comfortable talking to you and everything else and stuff. Like we knew each other for years or just, And I said, I'm empathetic. Okay, I generally care about people, and I told her about, my recovery and my addiction and whatever, right? And she said, well, I needed that. Thank you. I have that effect on people. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be narcissistic. I know this. But because of my way of thinking, my internal tapes in this noggin says, oh, you're not doing anything. You're not helping people. And they'll get... Excuse me. Oh, you should quit YouTube and all these internal tapes, right? And I bet you a lot of you go through the same thing. I know a lot of you go through the same thing. Or you'll read the negative comments first and, right, all that crap, right? It's all mind fuck, okay? Excuse the language, but I'm just saying, right? Even though I know deep in my heart where my intentions are and all this stuff, I know that I am making a difference. But when I'm in pain, and you can ask my husband this, when I'm in pain with my back, and it causes depression, anxiety, panic attacks, or whatever, and my stinking thinking keeps going on and on and on and on and on, in my head, it gets me down. But here I am, But I don't want people coming here just, saying, oh my God, she's... I mean, I'll go on my rants and my rockets blast offs about a lot of things or whatever. And if people aren't in recovery, that's fine. If people aren't, if they're not going through issues with mental illness, that's fine. If you just want to talk about certain things, maybe that what's going on in the world, maybe what's going on in it with AI, or maybe it's all about respect and finding what binds us together instead of separates us. And if people have a different opinion on certain things, that I don't agree with, that's fine. If I say something and people don't agree with or whatever, that's fine. You're allowed to have certain opinions, but on Facebook, on YouTube, oh, they don't like that. That's why, I was saying, and I'm trying to wrap up here. That's why a lot of people, like, it sounds so fake and it sounds so. Let's say, somebody, all right, like that Luigi guy that killed the healthcare CEO. Okay, a lot of streamers say pew pews or whatever. I'm like, come on, say the real thing. Say guns. He shot him with a gun. You know? Or if people, or say, say somebody, whether it be a celebrity or a civilian or whatever, right? Normal people like us, whatever, they commit suicide. Okay? And a lot of creators will say, oh, delete themselves, off themselves, whatever. Say it what it is. See, I'm going on my rocket spots offs now. I think that's why a lot of people get so frustrated and stuff, because certain tech companies won't allow you to say the correct, word. It's like, no. It's pew pew, not gun. Pew pew. Excuse me. It makes me laugh because there's several times where I had YouTube send me email saying, need help? I'm like, need help for what? And then it says, oh, some of our community members of YouTube or whatever, because I was talking about, the suicide. It was just a copy and paste thing. It was a troll thing, whatever. If you look on my regular stream, you know what I'm about, right? And it just makes me laugh. So sometimes you have to roll with the punches. You really do. But sometimes if you feel like you're getting burnt out and you really need to take a step back, and maybe figure out another plan with your channel or with your mission, whatever, do that. But most of all, do it for your health, your mental health. You're number one. Just like I'm number one. My recovery is number one. But some of these channels that say, oh, if you're not getting enough views, if you're not, you know what? I'm grateful for just getting, what? If it's 2 people, it's 2 people. If it's 10 people, it's 10 people. If it's 30 people, it's 30 people. If I get, like with my videos, like my YouTube videos or whatever, if I get 12 views on one video, or say 3,000 something on 3,000 views on a short, or likes or what, it's like life, guys. You're gonna have good days and you're gonna have bad days. A lot of times you're gonna win and a lot of times you're gonna lose. And it sucks because if you're depressed and your anxiety's high, whatever, and then You say you make a video and it doesn't really do well. Oh well, and then right, it starts these negative tapes in your head, right? And now everything has to be so polished on YouTube. It's like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, oh, yeah, whatever and stuff. It's not like 20 years ago where YouTube was actually fun, where people just would make cat videos or people doing, like, how Americans Got Talent, America's Funniest Videos was, right? Where things would go wrong. Maybe, a baby burped, at grandma's face, or, something funny or whatever. Now everything has to be polished. Do what you can, guys. Most of it, do it for yourself and do it. I mean, I'm just saying this. Make your channel you. Don't try. I mean, it's okay to look at videos and try to get ideas and whatever. But my suggestion is do you. I put my personality. I mean, this is a raw, naked stream, okay? It's a pre-stream. Because I'm doing it because I'm trying to get my back iced up so I can go to my studio so we can do all this other stuff with National Fentanyl Awareness Day. See? I can't. So I'm like prepping before I go in there. And if you're just starting out with making videos and all that stuff, and maybe you got 5 subscribers, and hey, good for you. If you got 100, good for you, right? Keep building on that. But if you need time for yourself, let's see how, let's see. Cherokee, you want a treat? He's dreaming about something. Cherokee, you want a treat? Oh, he's right asleep, huh? Cherokee, you want a treat? Woohoo! Cherokee. I'm trying to. Cherokee. Well, I guess you're taking a nice long cat nap because it's raining and thundering and you're just chilling out, huh? Anyway, guys. Oh, here comes Bonnie. But I also want to say this, guys. I do appreciate each and every one of you that show up here, that subscribe here. And that comment. I do truly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And mean, you're not overlooked. I just want to say that. You know? So, so if you're new here to this channel, please subscribe. And if you believe in my mission of creating a wildfire of change in this world, hit that subscribe button. I'm open to any suggestions, guys. I'm open-minded about a lot of things. You can reach me on Twitter, Instagram. And my channel is about recovery. You know. But I don't want to be put in a box either. I mean, I'll talk about my recovery. I'll talk about my life, how my life was and my addiction, and what my recovery is like now. Yeah, with my Jersey accent, my Jersey voice, with my raspy Jersey voice. What's better? All right, so what's annoying? I'm going to ask you guys this. I'm going to ask you, Moto. What's more annoying? Kim Kardashian's voice, Taylor Swift's voice, or my voice? And if you say my voice, I don't care. Okay? I'm just saying. There's some people that say, oh, wow, are you a guy? Are you a tranny? Or what? All, you know the freaking, troll stuff, right? Some guy thought, because, like on Mixer, somebody told me I look like Ozzy because I had certain glasses on and whatever in my hand. Whatever. My husband even says I have a raspy smoker Jersey voice. You know? God gave me this voice, all right, to make a difference. Because he knew I was going to be loud and just in your face, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah! And you know what? Hold on! You know what? Exactly. Every time I went to a party or whatever, they knew I was there. They knew I was there. Because of just the buoyancy, right? I was so boisterous and just like, and just having a, wacky, wild and crazy time. Yeah. Listen, I might be clean and sober, but I'm not dead. I still know how to have a wild and crazy time. Even ask Jim, he would know. I'll go chasing cows and everything. Even if he says to me, the guy that owns the ranch is probably gonna come out and shoot you. You know that, right? I'm like, I don't care. I jump over the fence and just run after cows and stuff. This is the voice of experience. This is the voice of extreme experience. This is the voice of, hope, strength, and wisdom. And I would love, and there's a guy, he's a rapper on YouTube, and I'm trying to be friends with this guy because I love him as a friend. Okay, his name is Coachilling, and he's from Pittsburgh, and he raps really raw about his experiences with addiction, mental health, and he gets the message out there, you know. And can you imagine me rapping? That should be a challenge right there. That should be a challenge right there. If somebody can come up with a rap, I'll try to do a rap song or whatever. But this is the Jersey voice right here, okay? No, hold on, guys. Wait, let's see. Where are you? She doesn't like to be. Whoops. She doesn't like to be filmed. Say hi. Hi. Say hi. Sure, look at the camera. You see yourself? What about? Wait, hold on. Oh, my back. I'm almost there, guys. Say hi, 20. Here. I'm with your old. No. She hates being filmed. Can you see yourself? Here, wait. Wait. Oh, like it's. Anyway. Now, you want to see me try to get up? I'm on the floor, guys, and I can't get up. This is not going to be good. Oh my God, my back. My back. My back. Hold on, guys. Okay, ready? 3. Now that I know bears. Trust me, I married one. What was his name? Oh my God! Yeah. They used to back in the day. They used to call me Vicious, and hence the name Vicious Bite, because I had a tongue like a snake and stuff. I would just, you know, you wouldn't want to know me back then. Trust me. Wow. I took you guys for a ride. Yeah, so I think once Jim saw Vicious in me. Actually, I think it was the other night. But that was like that compared to what I used to be. But, so, to give you the heads up, it's raining, it's thundering. What time is it? I don't even know what. I can look here. Wait a minute. It is 8:41 my time in my neck of the woods. How my back is feeling right now, it's terrible. Uh, you know, so, I, what was that? So, even though, and this was a pre-stream about nothing, whatever, I had to do this on here, just sitting on the couch and just talk and just, you know, but sitting on the couch and sitting on there, on the gaming chair, is different. And so, I guess we just have to see, right? And, we'll just see. You know, I'm looking at, you know what? I'm looking at this deck of cards, right? And I'm thinking, hey, I wonder if I could do a magic trick with you guys. You want to see a magic trick? But then I guess we'll do it another time. But I would like to show you a magic trick with, these are not a standard deck of cards. Alright? They're not like regular playing cards in my book. But, you know, tell me if you want to see a magic trick. You know, I haven't done magic tricks with cards in a long time. I did a couple with Jim, and I screwed up. You know, I was like, oh no, but you know, but yeah. So if you want to see a magic trick, you know, sometime let me know. Put it down in the comments or whatever. But I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you guys out there are doing all right. I hope life's not dragging you down. I hope you're staying away from the white noise and not getting sucked into the darkness and stuff. I hope you're living your best life. I hope you're helping others instead of thinking of yourself. And even if you're, you know, feeling down, depressed, or whatever, it's okay just to step back, do some self-care, you know. And believe me, your body will tell you that you need self-care and you need to take a step back. Because I know my body does. You know. So I do want to do the National Fentanyl Awareness Day. If you guys right now, if you're out there struggling with drugs and or alcohol, there is help. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If you feel suicidal and you're in a crisis right now, please, if you don't feel comfortable talking to me out here, that's fine. But just pick up your phone and dial 988. You know, you do have a purpose, whether you believe it or not. Trust me, because I felt the same way in my addiction. You know, so I do appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to do some merch too. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. It's just everything's crazy. That's why I feel like I need like a manager. Well, even when I had a manager in the band, I was like, fuck you. Whatever. I don't do schedules that well or contracts. So anyway, guys. Thank you for joining the pre-stream show. And I guess I did this for myself also. To hype myself up about the stream and just to have fun. You know what I mean? So you guys rock. And I'll see you in a little bit. And catch you later. Be the light of the world. You too, Poke. Boop. I'll be back. Good night. But I'll be in my studio. Yeah. Bye. 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 See you later. One more be ya. Bye.